Hello everyone and welcome to the ninth installment of the Turf Battles new client development diaries. Today we're going to be covering the Ladianes Civil War as well as the reintegrated buddy system, or now also called the Friends List. Um, right before we start that, I just wanted to briefly talk about some concerns that players have been having um, around suggestions and implementing content before the new client is released. Um, so we are going to look into that. Whether or not everything gets put in that players have suggested is still kind of in the air, just because some stuff cannot be changed because of the vast differences between the two servers. But I won't go into too much detail about that. Anything that we can change, we will. Um, we're going to plan on spending some time between now and the next development diary looking into what can be added, and if possible, adding that as well as releasing a new development diary. If that's not possible, we'll delay the next development diary uh, just so that we can work on a patch for the live server. Um, if it's possible, we'll release both the new content as well as a development diary that may just be shorter than usual development diaries with less changes. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. I've already pre-made this character and geared it up. So the first thing I'm going to show you guys is the Civil War system. Um, so I've already saved a teleport. And just like in the current live server, everything should be working the same. For example, we won't be able to go into the castle because we aren't the Civil War winners. This is a new tribe, clearly. So the first thing we have to do is, of course, register the tribe for the Civil War, and this is something that has to happen every time. Right now we have 15 million Lenny. Once we register, it should change to 15 million Lenny, or sorry, 10 million Lenny. There we go. Something that we're continuing with is that anybody in the tribe can register for the war, not just the tribe leader. And then if you try to register again, you just get a message saying that you can't because you're already registered. And if you were the Ladianes Civil War winners, then you do not need to register. You're automatically registered and you don't have to pay that fee. Okay, so I'm going to pause this video just so I can start the Civil War and get things going. Okay, so we just used the GM command to start the Civil War. We get the usual notifications or countdown that the war has started. And as soon as it has started, we can now enter. This is on channel 1 just because it's a test server, but it will continue to be on channel 3, as it says here. So if you're unfamiliar with the war, you just choose an altar. If you're not invading and you're defending, you can go back here and use the teleport to go into the central Lord room. But of course, we're not the winners, so we can't go in there yet. Each room kind of has its own little niche or feature. For example, the foggy room has a kind of a puzzle you have to solve. The fire altar can damage you. We'll go ahead and just use the tsunami altar just because it's easy to get to. So this one has a lot of narrow corridors you can get stuck on, or players can catch you by surprise at. And you just have to go all the way down. And there's the altar. Right now it's owned by a tribe called Fabio. I'm going to go ahead and bring a player in here just so that you can see enemy players. So I just summoned another player. They are an enemy tribe, so they're appearing as orange to me. If they were the defending tribe, their name would be appearing as blue. But you can see I don't even have PK on right now, and I can already attack them. I could turn PK on if I wanted. I'll probably one-hit this character, I think. Maybe not. So the character actually had a GM command on that prevented me from doing damage to it. But I just did damage, I one hit it, and it died. Of course, you won't be able to attack your own tribe, but that was an enemy tribe, so you can do PvP as well. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and hit the altar. Just like in the current server, you don't see the health, so you kind of just gotta guesstimate what the health is going to be currently at. I'm going to skip this just because these things have loads of health, so I'm going to add a lot of AP so I can just instantly kill it. Okay, there we go. The altar has been taken. So now this altar is owned by us. It has our tribe name above it. Anybody within our tribe can now use this gate. If they hadn't taken it, they wouldn't be able to use it unless they are the defenders. So if I was the defenders, my job would now be to prevent the new tribe from entering this room. And if they enter this room, I have to prevent them from killing the monarch symbol. Similarly, if you are the defenders, you can go back into that room we were just in and you can kill the altar again so that the new tribe can no longer enter this room. So it's just a way to continue to prevent them from killing the monarch symbol. I have really high AP right now, so this is just going to get one hit. The monarch symbol has been killed, and then again, once that's killed, we get a castle lord box, which again is just a typical response for the Civil War process. Okay, so now we're the lords. We can go into the castle. This is the room. If you haven't been in it before, we have a bunch of different things we can do. We can activate buffs that are only accessible by the winning tribe. We have our own Yuba merchant, turf shop, warehouse, and castle lord nurse. But then the unique thing that we have here is the castle controller, which basically allows you to control the taxes that are currently in place throughout every store and booth in the game. There's a couple rules in place for these, primarily to prevent tribes from abusing the system. Every time you win the war, you can only increase or decrease the taxes by 2%, and these changes have to be made within 2 hours of winning the war. And this can only be done by the tribe leader. Similarly, you can only withdraw Lenny from the tax system if you are the tribe leader. Okay, so we just increased it to 4, and now we can't increase it anymore. We can't decrease it because it was increased twice, so regardless if you're increasing or decreasing, you can only make 2 changes at a time. And then we have the booth tax. And again, it has its own countdown timer, or sorry, not countdown timer, but controller, so that you can increase both by 2%. And again, you can't increase and decrease, you can only do one or the other twice. We currently have 5 Lenny. I'm going to leave that there just so we can show that tax rates are working. So it's 4%, that's what we just set it to. See, store tax 4%. And this will say at every single store in the game that the tax rate is currently 4%. So here we go. Normally these are 4 Lenny if you have 0 tax rate, but we'll go ahead and just buy 1. We bought 1, and now we should have 6 Lenny in the tax. Yep. If we were to say buy 10, it should increase by 10 because we just collected a total of 10 Lenny for the taxes. So it should be... Okay, so that's a little mistake there we're going to have to fix. But it should have been increased by 10. We'll fix that for after this video, and then that shouldn't be a problem. Okay. I think that's everything for the castle system. Again, this is just the same system we have in place now, just fixed. One of the things that we did was that we fixed an issue where during the castle war, an icon would appear above your head. That won't happen anymore. So because of that, we've re-enabled viewing the tribe system. You still can't accept a tribe member during the tribe war, or sorry, during a civil war, if you're registered for the civil war. And that's just to prevent people from hopping between tribes so that they can have advantages during the war. Okay, I'll buy a return scroll just so we can keep going. Okay. Uh, so next is the buddy system. Um, this it's for the majority of it's done for the majority of the system, but there are some changes I'd like to make that are just kind of improvements to the system, and I'll kind of touch on that during the video update. Okay, so this is the new interface. Probably looks similar to the current system, just nicer. Basically, now we've removed different groups. The reason for that was when we looked at the current groups being used, there was really very little amount of players that were using this feature, and it does take up a lot of space on the database when it is being used. So if not that many people are using it, we just went for removing that system because it does simplify the development process as well. But basically now you only have two groups. You have your friends list and your block list. Your friends list is where all your friends are, and your block list is where anybody that you've blocked in the game will be. Um, Similarly, if you click the friends list, right here the add friend button is enabled. If you open it without touching any of that, it says add friend, but it's disabled. Okay. And if you click block, it turns into a block user. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and add myself using another account just so that you guys can see the message that I get when I add myself. So I'm just on my other screen right now and I'm adding myself. So I just got a notification, sample player has requested to be your friend, and if I open my social interface again, I get this notification. This is one of the things that I still want to change, just because it can be a little taxing, especially if you have a lot of friend requests coming at the same time. What's going to happen is every time you click yes, a new message is going to pop up until all those friends requests have been either accepted or denied. Something that I want to do, which I think most games does, is just add a pending list. And what that'll have is any player that you are requesting to be friends with, and that is requesting for uh, to be friends with you. Um, so instead of having this pop up, you just go into that list. It'll be a little drop down like these ones are, and then you'll be able to either accept or decline, or even cancel a friend request that you've sent out. Um, we'll probably do that for the next update, just because it does make things a lot more convenient for players. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and deny this, just so you guys can see that nothing happened. No players were added. Um, and you can't see this, but on the other account, the request was removed. And I'll show you guys that in a minute. I'm just requesting to be friends again. Again, there's the message. We're going to click yes this time, and now we're on the friends list. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and delete this, and I'm going to show you guys the other side of the process. Okay, so I just have to add myself, or sorry, not myself, but the other player. And no character exists with that name, because I made a typo. There we go. Something we also did change is that you can now add players even if they are offline. So for example, I'm adding Scotty. He is not online, but the friend request still went out. Okay, so sample player is online, but this is a friend request, and they haven't accepted yet, so that's why they're not showing as online. Like I just said, once we make the new system, or sorry, not this new system, but the pending list, this will actually be moved to that pending list, and there won't be any confusion as to why it's gray and still in the friends list. But I went ahead and accepted it, and it says sample player has accepted your friend request. Cool, now they're online. Okay. Something we can do is we can either delete them. I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to delete Scotty. And then you can send them a note, anything you want, as long as it's in English. and contains certain characters. I think we prevent users from using quotation marks um, and foul language. Something we also changed was if you are muted, you can no longer send these messages um, to your friends. So we'll go ahead and send a message on the other side just so that you can um, see that it's received. So I'll write, hello, this is from your friend. Have a good day. Okay, I just sent it and I get a notification saying, hey, you have a new message. And up here it just shows that you have one unread message. You can either click the word inbox or you can click open inbox down here. Either or will open this interface. And then any text that appears in white means that it's unread. And as soon as you click it, or double click it, sorry, you can open up this interface. And if you noticed, that unread counter just dropped down to 0 because we've now officially read it. Hello, this is from your friend. Have a good day. We can close that. Now we can reply to it. We can say something like, you too. And we get a notification saying the message was sent. But this message is pretty useless to us, so we can just go ahead and delete it. Are you sure you want to delete the message? Yes. This wasn't supposed to pop up. We'll go ahead and fix that for the next update. Okay. The next feature that we want to show is the block list feature. So currently, I'm pretty sure every time you, for example, if you have a player added and then you want to block them, first you have to unadd them and then block them. We kind of removed that, so now you can just, if you have a friend that you want to block for whatever reason, you can just type in block user, or sorry, click the block user button and add them, and they'll automatically move there, and you're automatically removed from their friends list. Something that you can also do is the reverse. You can add them back, but of course they have to accept it, which I just did. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and just summon them just so that you guys can see them. There we go. So right now they are not blocked. So if I type in a message, hey buddy, sorry, one sec. Okay, sorry about that. I just noticed a bug. And we'll fix that for the next update. But pretty much what was happening when you add a friend that was already blocked, they continue to be blocked. But we've fixed that for this video. And right now I'm sending a message saying, hello, how are you? And we don't see a message because the user is blocked. But if we unblock them, there's the message again and says, hello, how are you? Okay. Let's see, what else? Oops. Wow, I just keep making typos. That's what happens when you try to type fast. Okay, so something else I just want to show you guys really quick. In the current version, anytime somebody renames their character or deletes their character, your friends list is not updated. They're just permanently stuck there. And what actually happens is if you delete your character or you rename your character and then somebody else makes a character with that name, they inherit all your old friends. We fixed that in this version. So I'm going to go ahead and change sample player's name to, I don't know, some name, I guess. And what's going to happen is as soon as I log off, which is when player names update on renames, my friends list is going to get updated. And I'm actually going to get a message right away saying that a different name has logged off. So right now it's called sample player. If I log off, it's now called some name. And now I actually didn't accept that friend request, but if I do accept it, some name has accepted your friend request, and I do that again, so I'll rename to York. It's still called some name, but once I log off, it now says York is offline, even though it said sample player before, or some name, sorry. And now it says York here as well. And York is now logged in. Okay. There's actually one more thing I wanted to show you guys real quick before I do mention that, or show you guys that. I just wanted to explain kind of why the buddy system does take as much time as it did, and why the tribe system did take as much time as it did, and actually the Civil War system as well. The reason for this is that all three of these things are tied together throughout all channels. They're not specific to an individual channel. So what that means is all channels share the same data. So we have to make sure that all that data syncs properly across all three channels. We did that before and it was a bit of a mess. But we've kind of cleaned that up and refined how we do that. It's just implementing that or re-implementing that with each system has taken a little bit more time than expected, especially with the tribe system. But it's kind of becoming easier and easier now as we're moving into things like the buddy system. Okay, so something else that we're going to show you guys is the soccer event. One thing that you guys already probably noticed when we walked up here was that the crystal jumps up. That's something that we're going to fix. Don't worry about that for now, but it'll be fixed. I actually need to lower my level so I can enter. Otherwise, I get teleported. And now instead of teleporting to the respawn location, you get teleported off to the side of soccer field. We just felt that was a more convenient spot for players to get teleported to. So I'll go ahead and set my level. Okay, I just set my level to 160. I can now go inside. My dexterity is set really high, so I'm just going to one-hit this thing. There we go. And I got a fabula gown. If I stay in the soccer field after the allotted time, which I think is like 5 seconds, I get teleported out. No matter if I am of that level or not, everybody gets teleported out, so everybody has an even chance to come back in. And I'm already level 160, so I can go ahead and just hit it. I'm just going to walk backwards this time. And now I'm going to set my level to 276. Okay, I just set my level, but something that I forgot to mention is that one of the suggestions that a lot of players have been making or requesting is that we change the soccer system so that it does incorporate the new Colonium equipment. This specific change is something that we will be adding to the live server on the next update, whenever that is, sometime between now and 2 weeks from now. Just when I'll know more once we actually get a chance to look at all the suggestions and see what can be implemented in that time and what can't. But basically what's happening here is now we have 4 brackets, much like we do on the Triumphus server. The first 2 remain unchanged. The third bracket for both the Mystic and the Tri server are now for levels 200 to 276, and the fourth bracket is for levels 276 and up. So on the Triumphus server, level 350s can get into it, and on the Mystic server, level 300s can get into it. The rewards for the 200 to 276 bracket on the Mystic server haven't changed. They're the same ones that were for the 200 to the 300 bracket, which I believe is just level 11 equipment. Once we do release this new client, we'll also be releasing the G12 sets on the Mystic server, so the rewards will also be changed there. But for now, it is still level 11 equipment, and I think I got an ultimate helmet. For the 276 bracket, or sorry, just real quick, on the Triumphus server, the previous bracket does drop level 12 already. Now, as I was saying, for the level 276 bracket, now on both channels, or not channels, servers, you can receive Colonium equipment. The range of the levels, I believe, ranges from level 10 to 13. So if you win at the soccer event, you and I think it's five of your team party members will receive a Clonium item. The levels might be different between you guys, but they will range from levels 10 to 13. So as you can see, I have nothing here except level 11s. And as soon as I kill it, I'm actually going to set my dexterity lower just so you guys can see the HP go down. Okay, I don't think I'll one-hit it here. I possibly also won't hit it too much. I thought I'd be hitting more damage, but I guess not. But basically this will drain as you do more damage, and everybody else is updated for this what the health is as well. This is going a lot slower than I thought it would, so I'm going to set my dexterity back up so I can one-hit it. Okay. And there we go, one hit. And I've received an Artemis sleevelet. And in this case, I got levels 10s and levels 11s. Cool. So, I think that's it for this update. So as I mentioned before, uh, we're not 100% sure whether or not we will or will not be doing the next development diary. We'll keep everyone posted once we have more information. Again, the only reason that we wouldn't do it is because the suggestions that players requested that we are able to implement took longer than they should have, and we were unable to work on the new client in those 2 weeks. Um, I'm hoping that we are able to add suggestions or make changes to the live server and then still be able to produce some kind of development diary for you guys. Um, it's just a lot to juggle, and I can't give you guys a for sure answer right now. Um, but we will be looking into it, and as soon as we have a better idea, we will let you all know. Yeah, so that's it for this development diary. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys possibly in the next 2 weeks.